Trump a true American patriot or not? Just to give you a little background on what the book's about. Actually, Mike, his name's on here too, if you notice. And the reason is that he babysat me through this thing. I wrote the book, but he certainly babysat me through it. He says to me one day, he says, you know, I think you got at least a couple books in that head of yours. And so I actually had the first manuscript to him in like about 2 weeks. And so then it took us like about 6 months, right? Going back and forth, and he's reviewed it, and so he's basically babysat me through the whole thing. And it's meant as a kind of a sequel to his book. He basically touches on the treason and stuff that's going on, and this book here goes into it in a lot more detail, and we figured that because of election coming up, we tried to get it out before, and because it's basically about what, under the law, I go through. It's a lot of, I let the court citations and law dictionary definitions and treaties, lots of treaties and stuff like that. It cites from all of that kind of stuff that basically tells the story. I don't really say much myself, and I let that speak for itself. And so the book is available for $29.99. It's 450 pages, something like that. Yeah, well, around 400 pages. 382. Shoot, I thought it was around 400. But anyways, so I would, if you want to find out what Trump is dealing with, why do they call it the Trump administration? The answer's in this book. Who owns Congress? The answer's in this book. And somebody owns Congress, I guarantee you. And it's owned and operated. And the signs are everywhere, and it's all in the law, okay? It's in treaties, it's in court citations, it's all taken it in here. Now, I don't know how much of you are familiar with Jerome Corsi. Does anybody know who Jerome Corsi is? Okay, a lot of people do. That's good. Jerome Corsi is the president of Liberty University. It's a big Christian university in the Northeast. And there's a YouTube video with him where he talks about in 2015 there's 5 generals came to see him, and they said they were going to overthrow Obama. And he said, well, you know, you can do that, but before you do that, maybe you should go talk to Donald Trump. And a few months later, he gets a phone call. They decided not to overthrow Obama because Donald Trump had agreed to run for president. And I don't know how many of you remember Howard Hughes. He was a big recluse. Well, in my opinion, and I have no way of proving this, but I think all of these billionaires, like Warren Buffett, matter of fact, I think Bill Gates approached Warren Buffett. Bill Gates is definitely part of that New World Order crowd. I think Warren Buffett is basically going along with it because he probably doesn't see any other alternative. But most of all these billionaires, when you get to that point, you know, the New World Order crowd approaches them and says, you're going to go along with our program or you're going to turn up dead. And Howard Hughes, they approached him, and that's why he became a recluse. He was hiding out all the time. He was worried about getting poisoned, you know, all that stuff. And I think that's why, why Howard Hughes was hiding out all the time. And Donald Trump, he's kind of like an in-your-face sort of guy. I really like Trump, quite frankly. But so what happened with Trump is, I don't know how many of you are aware of this, but there was an attempted assassination on Trump back in the 80s. There was a helicopter crash with 3 of his executives, his casino executives, all got killed, and he was supposed to have been on that flight. And he decided not to go at the last minute. And that helicopter, the blades came off. And I've worked in aviation all my life, and I can tell you that helicopter blades do not come off. And so I think that that was basically, you know, he thumbed his nose at the New World Order crowd, and so they tried to kill him. And so I think he knows exactly what the threats are. He's got his own private security. I've read articles about that. He doesn't trust the Secret Service. I don't blame him for a second. Anyways, this book all talks about all of that stuff. I would recommend, you know, if you want to know what Trump is dealing with, what exactly is going on in DC, he is literally in the belly of the beast. This is all satanic. This is the war of good versus evil. This is the book of Revelations that's happening right now in front of us. And you have to know your enemy before you can, you know, that's one of the Sun Tzu, the art of war, is you got to know your enemy. And so if you want to know the enemy, who they are, it's in this book. And it will go through in the law, and it goes through and explains everything that's gone on. And this stuff has been going on for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. I can prove, and it's in this book, I can take it back to 1213, okay, with King John and the concessions to the Pope, okay? And so this is nothing that's new. This has been going on for hundreds of years. I believe it's been going back to the Babylonian Empire. And that figure, remember in Daniel, the figure with clay feet, and you know, I'd have to go back and look at it, but that figure that the stone made without hands that comes and destroys it. So if you want to know what's going on, it's in this book. So I would highly encourage you to get a copy. I mean, this is a very brief, but it's got everything. It's got the citations, it's got the treaties, it's got everything's in here. In the definitive Treaty of Peace, King George, in the War of Independence, he financed both sides of the War of Independence. It's in the treaties. It's in this book. It just goes on and on. We're under a military occupation that's all satanic. Don't get me going. You're going to get me going here. Yes?
Do you give a Republic of Texas discount?
Well, you know, we could work something out. We'd have to talk to Mike. Mike actually helped me. He helped me publish this book. He told me that he would help me because it costs money. Okay, this costs a lot of money to publish, and so you know, who knows? I don't know. We'd have to talk to Mike. But I'm sure we could work something out. You know, that's something that we could do. I'm going to publish this on YouTube, so a Republic of Texas video, or I should say discount. We can do something. Anyways, it's got everything in here you need to know about what's going on right now and what Trump is dealing with. And I think that everybody should have a copy if they want to know what's really happening. Now, Ken talked to me, and he said that he had trouble getting through some of it. There's a friend of mine, actually, he's a doctor, and he loved it. And he just talked praises about it. He's telling everybody about it. And so everybody's got their own what they like and don't like. Ken had trouble because it was there's a lot of citations and stuff like that in it, and I don't say much in it, and that's true. Okay, I do expand on the citations and say, you know, that what I'm trying to say with the citation, or what the citation, one of the things that the citation says. But I let the court citations and the law dictionary definitions and all that speak for itself. And so once you understand what's happening, that's the first step in knowing what to do to protect yourself. You gotta understand what's happening and how it's happening, and then, and only then, can you take steps to protect yourself against what's happening. And we're living in the Book of Revelations time, in my opinion. And so that's about my book. And so I would encourage everyone to get a copy. And Mike helped me publish it. He babysat me through the whole thing. And it took 6 months probably after you know, from the first manuscript until we were taking it to the publisher, eh, Mike? Something like that?
Right.
It was at least 6 months. And we were hoping to get it out in June, and it was actually July by the time we actually, you know, got hard copies in our hot little hands. And but it's definitely been through the ringer, you might say. Lots of reviews and stuff like that, and that's good. I've never published a book before, so I wouldn't have known the first thing to do, quite frankly. And so he helped me with it, and it's meant as a bit of a sequel to this one. So if you don't have his book, I would recommend you getting one of those too. And his is a quite quick read. Ken said that he had that thing read in, what, half a day?
I read it in one night.
In one night, yeah. So it didn't take long to read his book. Mine goes into a lot more of the details. And so, you know, encourage you all to get a copy and tell your friends and neighbors about it. This is part of educating the sheeple out there, so they wake up to what's going on. And because the only way, you know, it's going to take, you know, all of this hoax that's going on right now is just the New World Order crowd going to the next step. And Lindsey Williams said that they were on hold as long as Donald Trump is in office, and we need to do everything we can. He is like he's in the belly of the beast, literally. And even though this is about the Republic of Texas, we're still affected by him and what he does, and we need to support him and pray for him, you know, because he is literally, these people that surround him. I've seen pictures where he is with some Jesuits, and you can tell they're Jesuits because of the emblem they have on their, you know. Anyways, they have an emblem with Lucifer the light bearer on the emblem. You can tell the way the emblem is, for sure. And so he is literally exposed to that. The news media are bought and paid for. They're smearing him at every opportunity, and you know, the way I see it is he's got to have God on his side, because it's like water rolling off a duck's back. You know, it's like there's nothing they can do. And but he's playing their political games, and he's probably doing things that he would rather not do, because he expects we the people to be there. You know, that's why one of the things he says, okay, he says that he wants us to have our guns, because at the end of the day, that's going to be what decides it. If push comes to shove, we the people need to step up. And so anyways, so I would encourage you all to read the book, to understand what's going on, and we're probably going to come up with a sequel to it, or something about some things that can be done. That'll be, you know, further down the road, maybe a year or so from now, I guess. Well, I'll talk to Mike about it. But Mike was heavily involved in this book, and I appreciate his help. And so anything you can do to tell your friends and neighbors about it is all appreciated. We need to educate people, and that's what the whole purpose of the book is, to educate people about what's going on, and what most people have no idea what he's being exposed to. So I guess that's about it. I'm going to turn the time over to Bonnie and let her, she's got something that she's prepared. Looks like she's got some scriptures out there. Those scriptures are those statute books? Code books, yes, right. Okay, good. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what Bonnie has to say. Thank you for your time. And I got a bunch in the back, and I've got more in the car if I run out. So don't be bashful.
Quantity discount.
Oh yeah, we can work out a quantity discount. Sure, you bet. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Also, Glenn, you should mention it's on Amazon as well.
Yes, you're right. It is on Amazon, but I prefer you buy it off our website. It's better for us if you buy it off our website. You'll get it at the same price, but it's better for us if you buy it off our website. But thanks for mentioning it. You're right, it is on Amazon, and it's Kindle and on Amazon. You're right.
What's the website? Yeah, what's the website?
What's website?
What's website?
Well, Mike has a website. It's called authormikeblackwell.com. Is that correct?
Right.
So you can go there, or my website, sovereigntyinternational.fyi. Get it there. It's right on the front page.